Joyce, thanks for the amen. Everybody, it's so good to see you. For those who are reflecting that, I sound lighter or we sound lighter since yesterday, I want to spend a moment on that. It's really important. Benzi, it's good to see you. Hi, Marcia. We are in a moment on the Jewish calendar which is actually not completely free from the pain of Tisha B'Av. And I'm not going to bring us down today, but I want to make sure that as we move forward, we are grounded. So I'll connect this both to yesterday and to the Torah portion to come. I had a conversation with Neshama just this morning about like how to shift the energy a little bit. And she had a great suggestion that I'll be sharing in a moment. And Jerry, you made a recommendation I was about to make. The days between Tisha B'Av yesterday and Rosh Hashanah, it's just a bunch of weeks. And there is one book that I always recommend to people to read between now and then. Rabbi Alan Liu, the book is This Is Real and You Are Completely, or We Are Completely Unprepared. It's a journey, a spiritual guided journey between yesterday and Rosh Hashanah. So again, Rabbi Alan Liu, L-E-W, of blessed memory. And his book is a classic. It is a classic. If anyone can find the link and post it, that would really be great for those who don't already know it. Okay. Tradition says that the temple in 70 CE, which was destroyed, at least mythically speaking, on the 9th of Av, burned so bright, burned so hot, that the stones were still burning the day after. That's today. Which means there are aftershocks of Tisha B'Av. Now it happens to be that given what we have been going through for the last 313 days, which is an insane number, a terrible number, but what we have been going through has not just been aftershocks, it has been the pre-shocks. There has been a continuity of pain, actually, for the last 313 days. And one of the ballasts for the pain, one of the things that balances us, is that we learn Torah every day. We as a community. Now, hopefully the larger Jewish world too focuses on the gift of Torah, the life gift of Torah. But we are in a day that is in the immediate aftershock of Tisha B'Av. And this year, for those of us who were part of the observance of Tisha B'Av, reading the Book of Lamentations of Eicha, and singing keynote, the Lamentations that are more liturgical than biblical, including modern ones that have been written by the hundreds. I read one of them yesterday as part of our broadcast. We experience the Tisha B'Av unlike any in living memory. And that's because we understand in a way that we never have before. I bless you that that's true for you, that you have not known that kind of pain before. And for those, I think, of us who have experienced trauma in our lives, it is true that trauma triggers trauma. And so I want to be very sensitive about how we individually experience pain. We have to be good to ourselves and kind to ourselves and generous of spirit with each other, because it is not really possible in these days of ours to say the pain was yesterday. I've frequently found myself in my teaching looking at October 7th and its aftermath, and every once in a while using the wrong tense, talking about what happened. And I have been corrected consistently by people who, like me, are just trying to figure out how to communicate these days. And they have said to me, Rabbi, it didn't happen, it's happening. And that is true. On my three trips to Israel with UJA since October 7th, it has been clear, especially close up, that while life is a force to be reckoned with, while there are Israelis playing volleyball with their feet on the beach in Tel Aviv as we speak, while cafes are full and downtown is full of good commercial traffic, while the Kotel Plaza was full of voice and song yesterday, while our people is incredibly alive it is also true that we have mastered the art of living in pain, living through pain, not compartmentalizing it, because that means we put it away somewhere. There's no putting it away. But what we have right now is so important to acknowledge, especially the day after Tisha B'Av. So what is the way the Torah can provide for us a way of continuing life forward without in any way ignoring the pain? Well, there is no better book of the Torah than Devarim, the book that we are in, Deuteronomy, where Moses is showing the people how to live forcefully into the future, knowing that he's not going to be there with them. He's been told that he will not enter the promised land, and you and I can discuss the justice of that or the injustice of that another time. But he points the way forward and speaks with a voice that I have to imagine is laden with pain. It's too much. It's not fair. He's in pain. He's the last survivor of his generation. This is no easy task. And the book of Devarim, we are in the second Torah portion, Va'et Hanan, in that book, it is pervaded by the urgency of life itself. And no better phrase can be found than one that is in this week's Torah portion. And this I owe as an insight to my amazing wife, Neshama. I'm so grateful for her wisdom to be able to share these moments honestly and grounded in the same spirit, actually, that we as a community have been very upfront about our actual circumstance in life, in the world. We have shared bearingly as a digital community that becomes real very often, thank God. We have shared what's going on in our lives. Torah is meant to hold all of that. We, as Torah, can hold all of that. We have the capacity to hold multitudes. No easy thing, but what a gift it is, friends, to see Arlene sharing that her granddaughter is napping. Her 3-month-old granddaughter is napping. That, friends, that's what it is to live life as a savta, as a grandmother, to learn Torah, and as I know is true about Arlene and all of us, to be in the world as it is, open-eyed, determined of heart, and to celebrate our children when they nap. So this is the suggestion that Neshama gave. The verse in this week's Torah portion, and let me offer this insight, Sharon, in memory of your dear friend who passed away yesterday, may her memory be blessed. May you be comforted. The insight is that in this week's Torah portion is a verse that we recite whenever we read Torah. When the person who's serving as Gabbai, or Gabbayit, who's calling everyone up to the Torah, introduces the Torah reading, they say, "Ve'atem hadvekim b'Adonai Elohechem chayim kulchem hayom," and we all recite this in response. And you, "Ve'atem hadvekim b'Adonai," who hold fast to God. You might know the term dvekis. It's both a folk Jewish soul band, and also it's a Hasidic practice of cleaving to God. So you who cleave to God, Vatem advekim b'Adonai Elohechem, you cling to God, Chaim kulchem hayom, you live today. And I remember thinking about this in more gentle terms, that here you are holding on to God, it'll be a better day. You'll feel God's gifts around you. I remember feeling that. And then there was a commentary that Neshama and I have learned together, which doesn't flip it on its head, but changes its tone. And this, I think, will be useful for us the day after Tisha B'Av and into the days and months and years ahead. May our fate be sealed for life. May the weeks between now and Rosh Hashanah find us doing tshuva, doing repentance, holding our own people accountable, because there are countless instances where we actually need, in a careful way, to call out our own internal mistakes, among which, when a minister of Knesset provocatively breaks the status quo and prays on the Temple Mount, endangering the hostages and the entire region in a terribly ignorant, harmful, extremist, fundamentalist way, we have to say something about that. That was my attempt. Because really, holding on to God demands a fierce focus, a laser sharp focus. And here we are. So what is the suggestion? Again, crediting Neshama for this. You who hold tight to God, you have to understand this world can so often be like a swirling ocean. It can. And all of us are just flailing to stay afloat. It can feel like that. Certainly yesterday did. So what is Chaim Kulchem Hayom? You live today. You, when you hold on. When you hold on because, as it were in the metaphor, God throws us a life raft and says, hold on. Here is a way to not just survive, but to thrive, a way to sustain yourself, to stay afloat in a world that can feel so often chaotic, in an emotional, turbulent time that can feel like it could drag us down. We have to respond to this intensity, this reality, with the determination to live, and part of the way we do that as Jews is Torah, is learning Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our teacher, is telling us, you're not going to have me forever. None of us, not me, not you, nobody lives forever. But this lifeline, this gift from our tradition, from antiquity, some would even say from God. No matter where you think the Torah came from, it is our people's yearning to be in relationship with the divine. It's offered to us in a consistent way. This community is it is an embodied version of a timeless truth from within Jewish history. The Torah brings us together, Torah strengthens us, and when we feel down, and the day after Tisha B'Av, it's hard to say we don't. When we feel down, we have a lifeline. We have a lifeline. And it is like invisible strings to every corner of the universe. I ask you with me, in that light, to send the invisible lines that come from your heart, connected through Torah to the universe. Send it specifically to the hostages and to their families. Vatem hadvekim b'Adonai Elohechem chaim kulchem hayom. You, us, we hold tight to this. We hold tight to those lines that connect us one to the next. And we send it through the earth if they're still being held in the tunnels, into the buildings if they're still being held in buildings. Send extra strands of this wisdom to those making decisions in the state of Israel that could influence the lives, the very lives of these hostages and their families and our people. Hold tight to a force for life. Chaim kulchem hayom. Please God, may you all be alive today. I don't have enough information to say all of this as fact, but I can certainly express it as prayer. Bring them home now. Now, with a renewed urgency. Don't get weary, don't get tired. If you feel tired, just imagine how their families feel. Well, we have work to do. You and I can get this work done. We can add our voices to the countless ones all over the globe who are calling for a safe return of the hostages. Chaim kulchem hayom. This is a lifeline that we can send in invisible and very visible ways. So send it right to the White House. Continue American pressure on the negotiators. Support your friends in Israel. Reach out to them today and say, I might not have written in a while. I love you. We are one. Do everything you can to be part of a force for life. The day after Tisha B'Av, that's the mandate. Hope, as Rachel Goldberg, Hirsch Goldberg, Poland's mother, has taught us, is mandatory. Mandatory. That means mitzvah. Send some hope into the universe. Use it as a lifeline to bring our family back. So sing with me, friends. On this 313th day since October 7th, sing with me. Pray with me. Send your hearts and everything you can to those still in darkness. Kolon baleva pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvatenu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends.